Welcome back to Christian World News. This month marks 4 years since Russia invaded Ukraine. The casualty count is staggering, with nearly 2 million soldiers on both sides killed, wounded, or missing. Russia's military suffering the worst, with 1.2 million casualties, including up to 325,000 killed. Ukrainian forces are about 600,000 casualties, with as many as 140,000 deaths. Casualties among Ukraine's civilians increased by 27% last year as Russia continues to attack non-military targets. Russia has taken about 1.5% of Ukrainian territory. The Trump administration is facilitating talks between the two sides in Geneva, Switzerland, but 3 rounds of meetings have produced little results. Sergei Rakuba is president of Mission Eurasia, a Ukrainian-based ministry, and has been actively involved in the ongoing conflict since 2022. Sergei, as the war approaches its 4th year, tell us, how has daily life in Ukraine changed?
George, it's so good to be with you on the show, and it's hard to believe it's been 4 years since that terrible war started, since first bomb started falling on capital of Ukraine and all the major cities of that beautiful country. So this 4 years, it was so exhausting. It was so tiring for people. You know, there are lots of fear, there are lots of uncertainty, but Ukrainian people continue to be so resilient, and they're weary, they are tired, they're exhausted. But what I hear from people, in their day-to-day interactions, they want to stand to the end to defend their freedom, their sovereignty, and their existence. And this is what's happening in Ukraine. In 4 years, lots of resources been spent. There are less humanitarian aid available for Ukrainian people today. I'm talking about the global networks. But Ukrainian people, families, they continue to stand. Even the bombs continue falling on their quarters, on their towns and villages. Ukrainian families, they continue praying, they continue standing, they continue, their sons and their brothers, their fathers continue defending their nation. And, in this fourth dark anniversary, they see that people of Ukraine, what they turn to God. And this year, the National Day of Prayer, approved by the President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, which is going to be led by the Ukrainian church, will be calling again nation to prayer, nation to stand for their existence, for their freedom. And this is what's happening today in 4 years since the war started in Ukraine.
You talked a little bit about the spirit of resilience, and the reality, Sergei, is that the Ukrainian Protestant evangelical community has played a monumental role in that resilience. Talk about this real quickly and how the church is doing 4 years on.
4 years on, George, church is doing absolutely amazing, carrying its spiritual leadership responsibility in the nation. Church, and it was approved by the entire nation, is doing absolutely amazing work, kind of putting bandages on emotional, spiritual wounds of the nation, helping families, helping, communities. And it's all in its spiritual sense. Church became a real beacon of hope, leading the nation in its spiritual way, helping to convey the message of hope in Jesus, but also in the humanitarian force. I can see the thousands and thousands, tens of thousands volunteers who are on behalf of national church communities, Christian entities in Ukraine, continue fighting on the front line of that humanitarian war, helping those who are in need. As men are fighting for their nation and with the weapons in their hands on the front line, those who cannot serve, they are on the second line. They are helping. they're supporting their soldiers, they're supporting the army, but also every other man, as I know, in Ukrainian church who is capable, they want to be chaplains, supporting hurting communities, soldiers, families, orphans, widows, and you can name it.
Yeah.
So the church is doing absolutely amazing work. They're tired. They are running out of resources. They still need a lot of help from the global community. And this is what is the biggest need today. Less resources becomes available. And we understand there are many wars are fought in this world. But Ukraine, when continues fighting for its freedom, for its existence, for its sovereignty, they need help more today than ever before.
Yeah, terrific. And you guys at Mission Eurasia are continuing to do that very, very important work. Sergei, as always, thank you so much for coming on the broadcast. Appreciate your time.